Hello, welcome back to Ready Controls. Are you still creating dozens of tags one by one in Studio 5000? Stop wasting time. Arrays are the smarter way. In this video, we'll explain about arrays in Allen-Bradley PLC. What you learn in this video is about arrays, what they are and why they matter in PLC programming. And we will talk about single dimension arrays. We'll talk about two-dimensional, three-dimension arrays. And we'll also explain how to access elements and specify bits within the arrays, and we'll cover some practical examples like creating fault message arrays and event logs. And then by the end of this video we'll be familiar with arrays that will get us prepared for the advanced instructions like file search compare. So let's dive in. So what is an array? An array is used to, array lets us save groups of data of same data type by the same name, and it uses a number or an index, we call it, to identify individual element. And an array can be of atomic data type, which are the base elements, base data types in the PLC, or a structured data type, which is a user defined tags or a string. And we can specify an element in an array by using subscripts, and the subscripts are given inside the square brackets. So for example, this here is a array, and we know that because it has this square bracket and 4, so this has 4 fault bits. It has 4 elements and the size is 4, and if you expand the same fault bit array, you will see they are fault bits 0, 1, 2, 3 and all of the type D int 4. So if you had to access this element, we use the square bracket 0 will give us this. So that's what we mean by the subscript. Think about it like a single column with multiple rows. Each row is an element of an array, and the arrays can be of up to 3 dimensions in Allen-Bradley PLCs. This is a single dimension array. Think about it like a single column. It's element 0, 1, 2 and 3. Since array has 3 dimensions, in this example our first dimension 0 is 3 because I have 3 rows, row 1, row 2 and row 3. And the second dimension for the columns is 0, and the third dimension is also 0 here. For a two-dimensional array, it has 2 dimensions, dimension 0, which is 3 in this case, row 0, 1 and 2, so these are 3. And then it has 3 columns, which is dimension 1, it has 4 columns. So yeah, this should be 3 columns, but anyway, this is a typo here. This should be 3 columns here. And then dimension 2 is 0 for it. And this is a 3D dimensional. We will explain that in future videos, but think about it like a workbook, like an Excel file with multiple sheets. So this is like a single column. This is a column, multiple columns and multiple rows, like an Excel sheet, worksheet. And this is the workbook. So how do we think about the structures? Think about like array is just organized storage. So in Studio 5000 you can structure it in dimensions like we talked about. Like a single dimension array, we use 1 square bracket. If it's a 2-dimensional array, we use the square bracket but use a comma between to separate it out. And a 3D array or a cube will have 3 elements to identify. Let's dive into the actual PLC and show you how we can define arrays. For example, for a single array example, we could create a fault bits array, and we could use each fault bit for one section of the machine. This is our parts washer example. If you have not watched this video, you could watch it. The link will show up on the top right. I just used 4 fault bits, 1 for each section. So anything with the inlet valve will have all the faults for the inlet valve will be stored in this array 0, and for the tank will be in array 1, and for the heater coil would be 3, and anything for the outlet valve would be 2. Right, so let's see how we can demo that. So we come back here and go to controller tags, right click, create tag, and we can call it a faults_bit. And to make it a single dimension array, we come back to the data type dint, put square bracket and 4. That will give us an array of 4 dints starting from 0. We create, and if we go back and look at the newly created tag, it is all the way on the bottom here, FaultBits, and you can see you have fault bit 0.0 all the way to 31. And we could always create a standard, and we could say, for example, for bit 0 is always stop open, and bit 1 is device command feedback mismatch, and a timeout, stuff like that. You could map it and reuse it, right? So that's one way of using arrays in a single dimension arrays. Next, look at a two-dimensional array. Two-dimensional array would be an array where you would use for some kind of a event log. For example, say we have every time a machine stops, we want to log when it was stopped, but we want it to have a like a rolling log for every day, right? So let's look at by an example. So we'll create a new tag, and we'll just say call it a downtime tracker. I have made a downtime tracker video on how to track downtime event logs using Python. You can follow that in one of my videos. The link will show up. So say I created a downtime tracker, and let's say we want the downtime tracker to be of a two-dimensional array. So I will say we have 31 days in a month. Some days, some months are 30, so we'll just say 31 days, and then for each day, say I want to record 10 events. For demonstration I'm showing 10 might be a smaller number. We could create, say, 50 events, right? So this would be 31 days, and each day we have 50 events, and we'll go ahead and create 31 days with 50 events per day, right? So we'll go ahead and create it. So what we did now is we created a multi-dimension array which has, so what we did is we created a multi-dimension array. The first set is for the day, so you could see day 0 is all, day 0 has 10 events, and then it has 50 events because we created 31 by 50, and since it starts with 0, it's ending at 49, 0 to 49, that's total 50, and day 1 will have again 50 events. So that's how you create a 2D storage, a 2D array for pattern storage, or 2D array for a event log for every day. Look at how to access elements in the array. Let's go back to the first, let's create some arrays to show you. So say new tag, we'll just create array 1, and we'll just create it as a dint of 5. Say create. So all we created is a array of 5 dints. The first one starts at 0 and goes all the way to 4, right? So let's go to our logic here. So we will just we'll insert a move. Say if we want to move a value of 5 into the first array element, then we'll just say move 5 into array 1. You could select the drop down and move a 5 into that. So all we did is we moved a 5 into that array. So if we go ahead and monitor, let's make it big. If we go ahead and monitor that, and out of that array 1, we want to access bit 2, for example. The way how we do that is use array 1 square brackets 1.2. That's how you access the bit 2 of that array 1. Say we have created a downtime tracker. Say we want to find out on day 10 what is the 20th event in the day 10, right? So we know the first one is the day, so we go all the way down to find out day 20 or day 10, sorry. So we are close to day 10 and we want to find out the 20th event, so that would be here. That would be right here, day 10 20th event. That's how you access a two-dimensional array. So today you have learned the basics of a one-dimension array and a two-dimension array. One-dimension array, we looked at how to use it for recipes or FaultBits, and we also looked at two-dimensional array, which is for downtime tracking. In the next video, we will use the file search and compare instruction to search through the arrays, like finding a scanned barcode in a product list. That's where arrays really start to shine. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you, please like and subscribe to Ready Control so you don't miss the next step using SFC within arrays.